Hello, everyone. We're group 10. My name's Paloma.
My name's Jasmine.
My name is Rayanne.
And my name is Luis.
Our topic is institutional violence. What is institutional violence? According to its definition, it consists of a structural violence that often happens when organizations or are questioned or confronted about the way they operate or about their policies, which often exploit vulnerable groups. Often this sort of violence can often be subtle. It can consist of remarks, threats, assault, harassment, intimidation, physical or psychological. There are also different types of violence: worker on worker, client on worker, criminal intent, domestic, personal, no connection to work, but with an employee. Institutional violence does harm, psychological and physical damage, reduce productivity and motivation, and also create an unsafe environment. A few examples would be, hey, if you don't do your job, you're going to regret it after work. Also, hey, do my homework or I'll tell the boss that you're not doing your job. And another one would be, take that promotion from me and I'll show you what my fists can do.
Some statistics that we were able to find when doing our research. 18,000 were killed in work-related violences, about 667 deaths per year. 1.3 million complaints on institutional violence. Wow. Some federal agencies released joint study on workplace violence from the Bureau of Justice Statistics. 78% were unarmed, 12% sustained injuries, and 15% sustained emotional distress. Wow. So something that's important that we found in our research, it's not just like the physical injuries that these employees are facing. It's just like a lot of mental stress as well. A lot of people think that most jobs are just like physically tiring, but mental and emotional stress go hand in hand. And I think that's really what really breaks down people overall, especially in the violence this way, because it's not just about physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse. It goes a long way and it really like destroys an individual. And no one should have to deal with that in the workplace, unfortunately, but it happens, especially with Amazon workers. So Amazon workers speak out about workplace safety and injuries on the job. So these statistics specifically with Amazon, 41% were injured on the job, 52% of workers felt burnt out, and 69% took unpaid time off due to the pain exhaustion from working. Wow.
So what could be the impact towards these things? So one, it could diminish the work productivity. Since previously mentioned so many statistics, it could alter the person. More employees are on edge. That means they're not really focusing on their work. They're focusing more like who's gonna harm them, who might say something bad to them. It also costs more for the company, like putting more programs or even having like more sense of security on staff, just in case something goes off, and also leads to depression. Um, some people may call off at work from all the stress, not just from work, but also from their coworkers or even their coworkers. Sorry. Some of the outcomes that if understand for the problems of human resources might be one of them that could be most likely placed or even file a civil court. after all these things are resolved, workers can work more productively. Employees can feel much safer instead of being in a hostile environment. They can focus more on their job, and also reduces costs for all these programs.
So some prevention methods we found was that it is important for employees to have a safe environment because it helps with productivity. It would be most beneficial to have these employees participate in trainings to ensure that everyone is up to date with possible situations and encounters of work-related violence. This would help identify behavior through role playing, various scenarios to get a full understanding of what others experience during these situations. So some solutions would be programs that can help inform employees of work-related violence and also help identifying institutional violence. This can be through training and or real-life examples. Also recommending resources for all parties involved. This allows those who were involved to seek the help they need. In addition to monthly training, which educates the employees to what is not appropriate, and it helps identify situations. Also enforcing stricter rules, such as monitoring alcohol on the job, having less night shifts, and zero tolerances of work violence. Also, it would be helpful to do investigations. So meaning that like nothing too small should be passed. All cases should be investigated thoroughly. And then one quote that we found interesting is by Ronald Reagan. He says, "Peace is not absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means."
These are some of the resources that we used. First of all, we used the violence prevention program. It was an online course. And it helped us just like get a better idea of like how we can prevent violence in the workplace. And it just really like also gave us an idea about like sometimes like we are put in situations and we don't really see it as like violence of any kind. And I feel like in most jobs, like I said earlier, it's not just like physical. It can be like violence can be verbal, mental, any stress like that. So it was really eye-opening, and we think that more people should take this course just so they can reevaluate their life decisions and maybe like the job or situation they decide to put themselves in.
The EAP employee assistance program helps employees themselves through assistance. There's the phone number that you can reach them at, and also there's a brochure that explains thoroughly what can EAP help you with, and what like benefits does it have towards like towards your situation, or find solutions and stuff like that.
The LA County District Attorney's Office Bureau of Victim Services. This the attorney's office just like brings awareness to the violence and to the violence that these workers face, and it also helps provide resources to the victims in case there's like a serious case where someone has to go to like a hospital or something like that. The district attorney's office would be a resource that people can go to.
The one about LA County Public Health elaborates almost about the same as the EAP one, but it goes more into depth on statistics and also like the outcomes. It was pretty informative. So if anyone has like similar work-related or institutional violence, they can go to LA County Public Health and that same link to understand what can they do or what are the steps.
And also the Adult Protective Services is just a place in LA that adults can go to if they feel like they are being taken advantage of or maybe like abused in the workplace. Sometimes it's hard for some people to reach out to people and just like get justice, or just some people also just don't know their rights, especially as adults. It's harder. So yeah, that's a website, and there's actually like a facility in LA that does help adults and protects them as well. And these are references as well. We used a lot of credible sources, a lot of journals, lacounty.gov. You see a lot of these are government websites and just like legitimate sources, databases that just helped us get the best information possible for our group project and make sure that we know and understand what we're talking about. Okay. Thank you.